Thanks, Ola. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for joining this webinar on Thornybush. I'm also excited to present Thornybush. I love the place, and it's kind of, I call it, it's a great job, an easy job that I've got. There are a couple of updates on Thornybush, which I kind of go through in the presentation. So if any of you can't see the screen, just let us know, but I think it should be okay. So just a recap of Thornybush. Obviously, there's Thornybush Nature Reserve, which is part of the greater Kruger, and our lodges, Game Lodge and Saseka, are situated in Thornybush. We are also called Thornybush, but we're the company. And then we've got one lodge, Simbambili, in the northern Sabi Sands. Just for those of you who don't know, access to Thornybush is through the Eastgate Airport. And a road transfer into the lodges, or you can fly straight in with Federal Air into the airstrip between Game Lodge and Saseka, as you can see in the pics on the left. And then Simbambili, you will use the Arathusa airstrip again with Federal Air from Johannesburg or the KMA or the Skakuza airports. Just a recap of game and Thornybush Safari. Obviously, as part of the greater Kruger, similar to the Sabi Sands, the Thornybush Reserve, the game is fantastic. The density and quality of game is on par with all the other big reserves. What I always say, what is fairly unique to Thornybush is the fact that we've got amazing general game in Thornybush on the reserve. We see the zebras, the giraffes, and obviously, as I said, very good sightings of the big five. At any stage, we have 1 or 2 packs of wild dogs that would move in and out of the reserve. And this time of year, we normally have them denning, so we're always hoping that they would den either on Thornybush or just over into the Timbavati, where you have regular sightings of them over this period. So the first camp that I want to present to you is Saseka. Is our tented camp. We opened it in 2019, and in the greater Kruger, there is not a lot of tented options. And Saseka is up there with, from a value point of view, and also from a luxury point of view, some of the best. Situated on a riverbed, you'll see the tents are kind of a modern take on tented, and that's your main area. Where the theme of the main area is what we call the blend of the old and new, where you have this combination of kind of old 50s, 60s, kind of old Transvaal furniture combined with some very modern touches on the architecture and also the design. It's just a little walkthrough video of the main area. You see it's very open. It's a flat roof, so it's not a tented kind of main area. And it overlooks this beautiful riverbed. And you can see the elements of the old bench press, the old singer table, and then some very modern touches in there in the main area, which make it quite unique and different in my view. Some more pictures of the main area. And this chair on the left here, the green one, I always say it's the most Instagram chair on Safari because everybody sits on that chair. And that's just a view from the riverbed. What we do every night is we either do dinners down on the riverbed or we do drinks, and I call it the reconnect, which is quite rare in South Africa that you actually sit down on the riverbed for pre-dinner drinks. The food at Saseka is quite refined, but not overly complicated, and it's kind of what we refer to as kind of an Ottolinga Tupper style presentations and offerings, and we get a lot of compliments on the food that we've got the balance right between refined and kind of wholesome and healthy options. These are your tents. I call them hybrid tents because the back part of your tent is your classic tent, and the front part are these beautiful glass panels, sliding doors with gauze to give you that tented experience. They all have plunge pools. You can see that the interior of the tent, again, is the blend of the old and the new. And the theme of the tent and the Euro kind of theme is this amazing botanical print on the ceiling, which you really kind of only see when you're in the tent. Difficult to show on slides. Just some more design elements, your bathrooms. And again, you see a strong kind of canvas, gauze, roll down blind theme. And then Little Saseka is part of Saseka. It is kind of halfway through what I call the refurb. Currently, it's only one tent and one room. And this is where you have sole use, where you get a private vehicle and private chef. And next year, when we close Saseka for the, I would say the refurb, we're adding 2 tents to Little Saseka. So currently, or before the current change, you'll have 2 tents there, and to the right of the tent on your right, we'll add 2 tents to that one, which make it a 3-tented villa. Again, sole use, private vehicle, you have all your meals there. And these are the new little Saseka room. We've replaced the what you would see, the white composite decking with wood to give it more of a natural feel. And this is your lounge area where you will have your meals. There's a kitchen. And then Game Lodge next door is the original lodge in Thornybush. It's kind of the 3rd oldest commercial lodge in South Africa. It's been going since the late 70s. It's obviously in different versions. And we closed it 2 years ago for a full refurb, where we reduced it to 15 rooms. So it's retained kind of the original footprint, but it's just, we kind of took some of the rooms, converted that into a spa, and we're also into a villa. But it's kind of retained that kind of more classic feel. We were on the awards list last year with Travel and Leisure and Condé Nast, which kind of proves to you that there's some fantastic value. These are just the main area. More of a classic feel with your thatch, your decking. And then we do amazing kind of Boma dinners, and I like vary between kind of platters and kind of buffets, which is very Ottolenghi style. And the library was a new addition where we do inside dining in winter and those rainy days in summer, where you can see more of a kind of a classic feel to it. These are the rooms. They all have beautiful views out onto the riverbed. The bathrooms also have amazing views onto the riverbed. And Game Lodge is where we take children of all ages. We will give them these backpacks on arrival, and then we'll kind of, depending on their needs, we'll do some kids activities, bug walks, baking, etc. And we also do a lot of bush dinners and bush functions at our lodges. We do amazing bush dinners. We do drink stops, gin stops, and also at Game Lodge, we try and do a private bush breakfast every morning for one of the vehicles, just to give them a bit more of an exclusive experience. And then Kamara House is our villa at Game Lodge. It consists of 3 bedrooms, and from a value point of view, it's only 4,400 US. For 4 people, the base rate. And if you can see that the main house consists of 2 main bedrooms and a kind of an interleading room, which is ideal for children. And you can add the bush suite to your booking if you've got a group of 8 traveling. And again, it comes with your private vehicle, private chef. That's your main bedroom. And those are the kids' rooms, or kids' room, which is interleading. So it's perfect for multi-gen families. It's also got its own little private fire pit. And Game Lodge has got a brand new gym and a spa and a sauna. And we offer immersive walking safaris where a guide will take a 3-hour walk in the mornings and afternoons. You can skip your game drive and join this guide, Jack, and just gives you a bit more immersive experience rather than your classic walk after breakfast. We also offer safari shoots where a photographer will come and do kind of an afternoon game drive for the family, honeymooners, engagements, etc. And I think it's such a wonderful kind of thing to either recommend to your clients, or if there's a gifting that you can do. And down south in the reserve, we've got the canine unit, the dog unit, which is anti-poaching. And if they're available, we will take you down there for an interactive experience with the dogs on the reserve. And then Simbambili is our lodge on the northern Sabi Sands. And I always say northern Sabi Sands is kind of the best kept secret in the Sabi Sands, just because the game viewing there is exceptional. And also, it's kind of, from a value point of view, it's fantastic. The rate for this year is only 1,300 US per person per night. We closed it last year, full refurb. So it's completely new, the main area, and we redid the rooms, the decks, and the pools. And people fall in love with Simbambili. It's a very intimate main area. We do, again, quite a lot of bush dinners there, bush breakfasts. And these are your rooms. They all have plunge pools. solar beds. And we've got a lifestyle center where we have a gym and a spa, and we have a communal pool. And this is where we kind of have what we call pizza lunches. There's a pizza oven, and it's kind of a great place if people, kind of people connect on game drive and they want to come to a central area for a pool and have a lunch together. And then Simbambili always says leopard heaven. Northern Sabi Sands, and this female stuck these cubs in the owner's shower 2 years ago, and I thought I should remove the slide, but she actually did the same thing this year, not in the shower, but in the house next door. Just shows you the kind of the quality of leopard viewing that you get in the Sabi Sands. And just a recap of game. Predator kind of heavy. And in Thornybush, the magic of the people. We're big on celebrations where we would either do private kind of bush dinners for birthdays, or we kind of host weddings, which we mostly do at Thornybush because we've got more capacity there from the reserve point of view. And then we've got a strong commitment to community. We're involved in various projects. We're part of the Long Run, which is the sustainability platform. We're off-grid daytime at all our lodges, and obviously we follow the Long Run's kind of ethos of being sustainable. These are just some of the projects that we're involved in. And just a recap of our deals for 2025 and 2026. The Pay 3 Stay 4, which is valid from Jan till June. The Honeymoon Special, which is 50% off one of the travelers. And also the single traveler waiver for additional travelers. And that's Thornybush.